If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and the best is blessed, baby.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. Keep it clean. Touch gloves if you wish. Let's do it.
Straight Talk MMA, hosted by Zay Bones and Trevor.
What's up, Straight Talk Society? This is your host, Trevor, and I'm back with another episode of Straight Talk MMA. Straight Talk MMA, episode 15. Tonight, we're going to review the UFC 291 card from last night between headline for the BMF title between Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje. So I see Bones is already in the building. We're still waiting on Zay. What's going on, Bones?
Yo, what's up?
Can't call it. Oh, no, there he is. I always wanted to make an appearance. What's going on, Zay?
Not much, man. I was in the wrong studio. I hit the link from yesterday.
Oh,
I'm sitting here wondering where y'all at.
So, real quick before we get into this card, I do want to thank everybody who tuned in last night and really made Straight Talk After Dark phenomenal last night. I thought it was a fantastic show. It was only an hour and a half. It wasn't even long like my normal shows, but you know, the raw, the grittiness, and the conversation was tremendous, and the fact that so many of you were there. 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm shocked. Like you guys were there, like we were doing a Man Talk Monday. It was that many people watching the show, you know. So I really appreciate that. And speaking of watching shows, our UFC 291 preview that we did is like outside of the who's that guy? Oh my God, what's my favorite? John Jones. Outside of the John Jones and Gone fight, like this one is doing tremendous numbers. Like the numbers of this show. Hey, see, that goes to show you, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about in the whole superstar conversation, because the numbers on this show that we just previewed, when was it? Friday, is already, you know, all over 300 views with, you know, between Facebook and YouTube. So, you know, hey, what do I know? It's just like our Wrestling with Reality show from this past Wednesday is doing tremendous. Like, I don't know. I guess some shows, man, it just does it. I don't know, but I appreciate the support, man. And, you know, it keeps these guys going. Let them know that people are, you know, tuning into their hard work. So enough of that. Let's get into this card. So we got UFC 291, Poirier versus Gaethje. So real quick, what was your thoughts on the overall card?
Overall, I thought it was a great card. It definitely lived up to expectations. As you'll see as we go throughout the night, it was only 2 decisions on an 11 fight card. So, I was pretty entertained from the first prelim all the way to the end. And also, I want to say shout out to Utah, Salt Lake City, because I was saying that I didn't understand why they had the card in Utah. They should have put it in Vegas. But from the first fight all the way to the end, the crowd was live and full of energy. So that also made it a lot better, too.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I would agree. I would say that the car overall have definitely delivered. I feel like they hit 2 home runs back to back with their last 2 pay-per-views, and the next one looks pretty good as well. But yeah, it delivered. It delivered, and I feel like a lot of times some of the fighters feed off of the energy that's in the crowd, and the crowd, like you said, was live from the very first fight. It was already full, so I think that just set the tone.
So let me ask you a question. I'm assuming that it was in Utah because of the boxing match last night. Because the boxing match, didn't that run the T-Mobile Arena?
Yeah, but I think they just do deals with certain places, like, cause they do deals with certain places to come there every year. And last year, this time they were in Utah, and so like now this year, this time they were in Utah. Just like every October they go to Abu Dhabi, every November is Madison Square Garden, and I think every April now is about to be Miami.
Okay. All right. So which fights are we doing? Are we doing the early prelims?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's get into the first early prelim. You have the winner, Miranda Maverick, defeating Priscilla
Cachoeira.
In this fight,
via submission. Via submission.
Yeah, it was pretty much everything I expected. Zombie Girl, which is Priscilla Cachoeira, came out throwing bombs, haymakers, tried to make it like a brawl. Miranda Maverick stayed composed. I say about 2 minutes into the first round, she got a takedown and was able to really just control her from the top. Priscilla Cachoeira kept grabbing the cage excessively, actually, and putting her toes in the cage. I think this fight kind of proved even more that she's officially a dirty fighter. Second round came out, and it was pretty much the same thing. Priscilla Cachoeira came out trying to throw bombs. Miranda Maverick got her down, but this time she got her down more towards the middle of the octagon as opposed to up against the cage. Miranda Maverick, Priscilla Cachoeira grabbed Miranda Maverick's shirt and like started like pulling it almost like she was trying to expose her breast or something. The referee stopped her from doing that. And then she got into an armbar, and when she got into an armbar, she kind of like fake tapped. I perceived it as a fake tap. Like she tapped one time and held it like as if to, I guess, convince Miranda Maverick to let go and say she tapped. But she didn't let go, so then she kind of like re-tapped again, but this time she tapped like seriously. And even in the post fight, Miranda Maverick was saying like, "Yeah, I know what kind of fighter she is, and so I knew not to let go until the ref pulled me off." But overall, it was a big win for Miranda Maverick on short notice, and she said she's looking to get one more in. I don't think it's getting her in the rankings, but I feel like I feel like her next fight should be to get her in the top 15.
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty good fight, pretty entertaining to start the card off. Before the fight, Priscilla Cachoeira, she was considered a dirty fighter. I have defended her, to an extent. But after this fight, like it's official. Like my brother said, she a dirty fighter. Like she always doing questionable little small things, to try to get little advantages. Like putting her toes in the cage so that way she can't, get mounted or something like that, or pulling on the shirt, just dirty, nasty stuff like that. She was definitely looking to come out and finish the fight early because she's a power striker. And Miranda Maverick was able to take her down in the third round and got her in the armbar. And like my brother said, the first is like she tapped that first, did like a little sneaky soft tap, and then ended up tapping like for real. You know, and I'm glad that Miranda didn't let go after that first tap because it definitely would have been controversy. So I'm glad she held on and made sure she actually tapped for real.
All right, so so I'm gonna tell y'all this. I need this. I need for this guy to be good. He lost, and I actually watched this fight, but I need for this guy to be good. So in our next fight, we have a welterweight bout between Matthew Smellenberger, Smellisberger versus Euros Medic, and Euros won via KO TKO. This Matthew dude has the best look in MMA. So he has this tall, slender, muscular build. He has this mullet, but not only does he have a mullet, then it's two braids in the top of this guy's fantastic. And his I like his strikes too. Like he throws some nice crisp strikes. Unfortunately, it didn't work for him. But what do you got in this one?
This fight was actually pretty entertaining. Simmelsberger dropped Euros twice in the first round, but after he dropped him the first time, he was on top of him delivering some ground and pound and got hit with an up kick, and then he fell from that himself. You hear his corner telling him let him up, but he followed him to the ground, got hit with an up kick, and then he got knocked back, and his opponent got up and rushed him. When his opponent got up and rushed him, he took a couple steps back and hit him with like a fadeaway counter left hook that dropped his opponent again. I'm sorry, it was a right hook, but it dropped him again. And he tried to go on top again and get some ground and pound. He tried to go for a rear naked sub. Euros Medic got out of that. And I feel like as the fight went on, Euros Medic started getting his range, and he started to pick him apart a little bit. Simmelsberger got hurt a couple of times. He kept a game face on, but eventually, I can't remember the strike that ended the fight. Was it a head kick?
He caught him.
I don't remember how that one ended.
He caught him with a hook and then spinning back forearm.
Oh yeah, spinning back. He went for a spinning back fist, but he kind of caught him with the elbow.
Okay, that was that one. Oh, that was disgusting because I text you guys. I was like, oh, I just text you guys the face with the guy gritting his teeth.
I didn't know what that was for.
Yeah, that was for that. Yeah, that was for that because I had just saw the knockout. I'm like, oh.
And the way he set it up was like he threw a punch and then he kind of sidestepped one way and made his opponent step the other way into the back fist.
Yeah. He put his lights out with that one.
I thought this was a very entertaining fight. Snellensberger, I think he actually has a bright future in the UFC. I just feel like he got to kind of tighten up his strikes a little bit more, and I feel like he probably got discouraged because he dropped him twice, and he was still like coming forward, you know. So I feel like that kind of discouraged him. The finishing sequence, I don't think he got nothing to be ashamed of. It was a situation where I feel like he just got caught. It was a nasty way he caught him with the hook, and then he kind of like got him up against the cage, and he went for the spinning back fist, but it caught him with the forearm, and it dropped him, and he just hit him with some follow-up shots. And he was complaining about the stoppage, but I can't really argue it that much. You know, he kind of got to save the fighter from themselves. But he real tough though, and I'm interested to see him fight again.
Hey, I will say this too. I think they mentioned that Simmelsberger had never seen a fight go past the second round.
Correct. That's why I say he finna get experience from this fight, and he'll come back stronger, I believe. And shout out to Medic too, because I believe he took this fight on either 2 weeks' notice or 4 weeks' notice.
And none of y'all going remark on his fantastic mullet, huh? Just gonna leave me out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really. Yeah, it's definitely a unique unique look. Definitely a unique look. I was kind of surprised because I knew he was kind of big, but he kind of lanky. But Euros Medic was like so tall and skinny. Like he was way taller than him, but he was so slim. it was just kind of interesting to look at the bills of the two fighters and think like, damn, they in the same weight class.
Yeah, I did see that one. I think I watched all the so I started from that match and then I think I watched all the prelims, but I could have been back and forth because like I said, I had another show last night, so I was trying to get myself prepared for that. So in our next bout, we have a welterweight bout. Jake Matthews wins second round submission over Darius Flowers.
I feel like Jake Matthews won this fight twice. Darius Flowers making his UFC debut, you could tell he had the octagon jitters. He was I think he was just fighting off of adrenaline. He pressured Jake Matthews the whole first round. He was very aggressive and had a really high output. But the only time he would stop or go backwards is when he got hit to the body. Jake Matthews started throwing teep kicks to the body, throwing hooks to the body, and it was just stopping him in his tracks every time. And eventually in the second round, I believe, when they came out in the second round, Darius Flowers was he had an adrenaline dump because he wasn't as aggressive. He was slower. I don't know if it was the body kicks that was taking a toll, the altitude, the UFC jitters or what, but he wasn't nearly as aggressive. He was borderline reckless at first, actually, like aggression and recklessness at the same time. But he got hit with a mean teep kick to the body where the tip of Matthews' toes dug right up in his sternum and made him spit his mouthpiece out, and he went down, and the referee called it a low blow. So he got time to recover, and then when he came back in, he just kept taking more hits to the body. Finally, he got taken down, and Matthews took his back and hit him with a rear naked choke. But before he could even lock the choke in, it's like Darius Flowers was tapping. Jake Matthews been doing this for a long time, about 9 years, and he's only 25. So I feel like he did what he was supposed to do. I am interested, even though he lost, though, in seeing the development of Darius Flowers because I would like to see him be more settled and more calm in there and see what he can produce in the future.
Yeah, this was a good fight. Darius Flowers definitely had an adrenaline dump, I feel like, because at the first round, he came and he pressured the hell out of Matthews, and he just kept pressuring him forward, and he was just trying to just dig at him with different kind of shots. Eventually, Matthews, being the veteran UFC guy, he was able to, I would say, weather the storm. Bro, do you think that kick that he claimed was a low blow, do you think that was a fair foul or no?
No, I don't think it should have been a foul.
It's very questionable because it looked like it didn't land, but I mean, kind of like, who are we to say? You feel me? Because it didn't look like it landed though. But
like it looked like the tip of his toes dug right into his sternum, but they were saying that like on the way down, the bottom of his foot grazed the cup. But I feel like, I mean, true enough, I didn't feel it, but I feel like the impact was from the toes and the sternum. The grazing of the cup, I mean, like that's why you wear a cup, and it wasn't like he got forced to the cup. But again, I didn't feel it, but I definitely feel like it's a good thing Matthews ended up winning the fight because if he didn't, then it would have been a lot of controversy around that one.
Yep.
So,
Now I don't question Darius Flowers because I'm not in there fighting or whatever, but it kind of seemed like he was looking for some time, because he was already starting to get broken down at that point, and I feel like he already had his adrenaline dump, so he was kind of looking for a way out and to further that point. What we was talking about a few weeks ago, as soon as Matthews then before he could even lock in the choke, he was already tapping out because you if you looked at it, he had one final little crank. But before he actually got that crank in, he was already tapping. So I feel like he already wanted a way out, in my opinion, because he didn't even really fully sink the choke in before he started tapping out.
and I think the point you're talking about that we spoke on before is about how a lot of times rear naked chokes are just people looking for a way out.
Exactly.
So, because you guys answered my question, because I was just going to ask you a crazy question. Like, damn, don't they wear cups? But yeah, they obviously do. But playing football and wearing a cup, you know, that really doesn't protect you too much if you get a direct impact.
Right.
I've been in the gym before and took a kick to the nuts, and trust me, even though you have a cup, it still feel terrible.
Yeah, because I mean,
The impact.
balls are unprotected. I mean, there's nothing you can do to protect nuts. So any shock, hell, you've ever been driving in a car and hit a speed bump, and you know, and it shakes the hell out of you, and then your balls start hurting.
Yep.
Yeah,
Man.
I
got
know.
one even better for you. I done went and sat in the car and sat on my balls.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that shit hurt for like weeks.
Hey, and I know this you know, this is the after dark type of talk, but whatever. I remember we was at Water Rapids one year, and I came down the slide, and I didn't move fast enough for whatever reason, and then I turned around. No, I went down backwards. So going down backwards, I kind of like got a shock when I hit the bottom, and I couldn't get up fast enough. And a little kid came right down into my nutsack, foot first.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah. That one, you talk about ball busting.
You was probably like, "What did you do that for?"
Yes, so I'm not gonna sit here and say anything about a guy saying he got kicked in the nuts, because we all know the pain of that one. So
Yes,
in our next bout, we have a middleweight bout. The winner, Roman Kopylov, defeated Claudio Ribeiro via KO, TKO in the second round. It's a lot of finishes so far.
Yes, sir. And this fight right here was one-way traffic for the most part. Claudio Ribeiro had a moment, I should say, in the first round. But Kopylov was just you can tell he was a way more seasoned striker. He was way more technical, long and rangy. He used a lot of feints. And the way the fight ended, he feigned a jab and then hit him with like a left head kick, and it was over from there. The way he had to do it, hit the ground and froze up. Then he came and hit him with one hammer fist just to finish him off, and it was all she wrote. But I think Roman Kopylov should be close to fighting to get into the top 15 as well. He called out Sean Strickland, but that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I feel like that just kind of shows how in his own world he be. Like, he don't really follow the sport because he over there in Russia or Ukraine, wherever he at. But yeah, I feel like he got 3 straight finishes, 3 straight knockouts too. This was a brutal one. The way he set it up was pretty cool too, because he faked the jab with the high kick, and you could tell his opponent just fell and he was stunned, and he followed up with a nasty hammer fist too. But I'm interested to see what he gonna do next. I would give him maybe whoever the top 15 person is. And also, I will say too, the way the fight started off, his opponent he didn't really give him too much to work with, because he was very tense and he didn't really throw too many strikes. And I think he only called him like one nice jab, and that was pretty much it. He was very hesitant.
I feel like it's a lot of new talent coming into the middleweight and the heavyweight division, and I feel like both of those divisions got bright futures.
So here we have our first decision of the night, and this is what, after like 5 fights, we have CJ Vergara defeated Vinicius Salvador via unanimous decision in a 3-round fight.
For this fight, Salvador, he moved around a little bit, kind of too much from my liking, and I guess he was trying to stay at range, but he was doing this weird little side shuffle kick to Vergara's calf. I think he caught him with maybe 2 or 3 of them. I thought that was pretty interesting. This was a competitive fight, but I think that the judges got it right and gave it to Guevara because he did more damage, and I feel like he was more explosive and he landed the more significant strikes. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, this is one of those fights where I felt like it was extremely competitive. By the time it was over, you didn't know which way the judges were going to see it. I feel like they got it right as well. But I feel like Vinicius Salvador going to go back and watch the film from it, and be disappointed in himself because he wasn't really like, it's almost like he was sparring out there. He wasn't really putting anything behind his punches. He was more so point fighting. And I feel like that kind of costed him. And then at one point, as the fight went on, he wasn't letting his hands go at all. But I liked his movement. He seemed like he was really elusive until Vergara started going to the body. Those leg kicks were kind of crazy. It reminded me of Yair Rodriguez, something that I see him do every now and then. But I feel like Vinicius Salvador, he need to up his intensity and throw punches with bad intentions as opposed to point fighting. Unless he just know he fight like he know he don't got no power. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like he definitely got to, because his style is very interesting, and I feel like he can do something with it, but he definitely got to up his volume more because I don't see him as a power striker, so therefore he got to up his volume more, and number 2, I just feel like it'll help his style more, help him become more elusive if he constantly throwing the jab out there or across or something like that.
And I noticed there was a lot of fighters from Texas on this card too.
Yeah.
So what do you guys? So we were like 5 or 6 fights in, and you got your first decision. Now, what do you guys feel about decision fights?
I mean, as long as it's competitive, I'm okay with it because, if it's 2 guys like the Derek Lewis and Ngannou fight, that's a classic boring fight, But as long as 2 guys are both going at it and they're trying to win, and I can't take nothing away from them, because sometimes you're not going to get to knock out every fight. So as long as they both putting forth effort and entertaining, then I got no problem with it.
Yeah, me personally, I have absolutely no problem at all with decisions. Finishes are exciting, but I appreciate the art of the sport, so I could watch a 5-round decision and be just as entertained as a finish as long as the guys were both as long as it was competitive.
You look at the Alejandro Pantoja and Brandon Moreno fight. That was a 5-round banger right there. I enjoyed every second of it.
And that probably got potential for fight of the year on it.
Yeah. And also, you got to think too, once you start getting into the upper echelon of your division, you're not gonna be able to finish everybody, because the margin, between good and bad fighters is so narrow.
Yeah, I'm more of a. I'd rather see a nice long competitive fight. The knockouts are great, the submissions, but I'd like to see those come at the end, just because 9 out of 10 is something that I'm paying for. So I want to feel like I got my money's worth for a good 3 to 5 round war versus a 10-second knockout. I just feel like I paid all that money, man, for the main event. It shouldn't have ended that way. If I'm going to pay to go, if I got to pay to watch the Super Bowl or the NBA Finals, they're going to be 60-minute games, sometimes longer. So, I just wanted to see where you guys were coming from, because there is a knockout that we're going to get to, and I bet it was the most exciting thing in the world, especially the post fight. But let's move on. So the last fight in the prelims, we had Gabriel Bonfim. Man, these guys got some names. So here you are, another finish. You got Gabriel Bonfim finishing in the first round via submission, Trevin Giles.
Yeah, Gabriel Bonfim is pretty exciting. He got sick jiu-jitsu. He got a brother that's in the UFC too. They were both undefeated. His brother lost his last fight, but Bonfim kept his oath. Submitted Trevin Giles, really made quick work of him. Pieced him up on the feet with like a 3-punch combo, then just picked him up and ragdolled him like he was somebody's child, threw him on the ground, took his back and just no, he didn't even take his back. He pulled guard actually and jumped on the guillotine and literally looked like he was going to decapitate him with the guillotine, like he was going to pop his head off his neck. And Trevin Giles thought he was going to slip out. He tried to fight it, but that was all she wrote.
Bro, Bonfim has a nasty, nasty guillotine to where if he get your head up in there, you ain't getting your head out of it. I believe he's 16-0, and out of his 16 wins, I believe he has 12 submissions or 13 submissions, I believe, something like that. So he's a submission specialist, but at the same time, he got pretty good stand up too, and I feel like his stand up is pretty fluid, and he was using a lot of feints too. That's the first time I seen Trevin Giles just get ragdoll and just mollywop like that, basically. So that was pretty impressive. I want to give him whoever number 15 is in that division because I want to see what he's gonna do because he's been pretty impressive. He's not just winning; he's like thrashing guys, finishing guys too.
And I'm noticing in the UFC that a lot of times, I mean, with the exception of Alex Pereira, they're not really fast tracking guys that they could fast track. Because I feel like that was his third fight in the UFC, but it's like he's proved that he's obviously better than the bottom tier fighters. So, but I don't see them giving him like. I feel like he should probably be elevated faster than he's going to be. Put it that way.
Yeah.
So I just cheated. I just, because when I'm flipping through screens, they take me back to the top. Did this main card have 4 performance of the night fights?
Yeah.
Now, how the hell is that even possible?
You can get
good. Sometimes Dana,
you get knocked out.
Sometimes Dana get generous, and then on top of that, apparently, a lot of people got undisclosed bonuses in the back.
All right, well let's get into it. The first bout on the main card, the welterweight bout between Michael Chiesa. He loses to Kevin Holland in the first round via submission.
This fight was very impressive because anybody who picked this fight, if you pick Chiesa, you pick him to win by submission or by decision. Because in the past, Kevin Holland has displayed some questionable ground techniques. I mean, granted, it was against Chimaev, but still, he got taken down easily and got submitted real easily. So people kind of question his ground game. Chiesa is, I would say, a submission specialist or a jiu-jitsu wizard. He been out for 3 years. He came into this fight and he shot for a takedown. And I believe he actually got Kevin Holland down the first time, and Kevin Holland was able to get back up, which was very impressive. And then he shot for another takedown when his back was up against the cage. And as he shot for the takedown, Kevin Holland threw that right knee, and it landed clean, and it just dropped him. And because it dropped him, he was able to sink in that Darce, and he submitted Chiesa. And after the fight, I seen Chiesa immediately start taking off his gloves. So I'm not sure if he retired. I can't confirm that for sure. But I think he probably did retire though.
No, he did. My bad.
I was very impressed with Kevin. He called out. He's going to fight either for the BMF title in his division or move up back to the middleweight division.
This is like the third straight event that I watch. Well, I didn't watch it, but this is the same third straight event that we reviewed where someone's taking their gloves off. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, Chiesa didn't retire. He said he feel like he still got a lot of fight in him. He didn't get no takedown though. He attempted 3. 2 of them got stuffed. Holland kept pulling them back up. But and then I wouldn't say he's a jiu-jitsu specialist. I would say he's a wrestler because he's a wrestler that has submissions, but I feel like he also gets caught in submissions. Like, yeah. And I feel like that's his Achilles heel to the grappling, like submission defense.
That was his third.
Say that again?
That was the third time he got tapped by Darce.
Yeah, I think Vicente got him in one, and Sean Brady too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I was saying that Kevin Holland long rangy. I feel like he uh hit him with a hook to the body, uppercut to the body that really bothered Chiesa. He kind of like went down from that and got back up. Uh, he was in the middle of trying to go for another takedown, and that's when Kevin Holland blasted him with a knee up the middle, and that's what dropped him. And when he dropped him, he jumped on the Darce. I feel like it was impressive to see Kevin Holland do that. And it's kind of interesting. I don't know. I feel like he has pretty good. Like he's been submitted that one time. You said Chimaev took him down and submitted him easily. I would have to disagree with you on that. I would say it was quick, but it was not easy because he fought that. Matter of fact, that was a Darce too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Darce or arm triangle, I'm not sure.
But he fought it for like a good minute and a half, 2 minutes. It was like a lot of scrambles. Got to rewatch that. It was actually pretty entertaining, and it was. I mean, he got overwhelmed, but I wouldn't say it was like a complete easy walkthrough. But I'm interested to see what Kevin Holland gonna do next. If you think he should move back up or stay right here where he at.
He should fight Gilbert Burns.
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
I mean, that's not going to be a BMF title, but I'm pretty sure if you was to present to Kevin Holland, hey, I got to fight against Gilbert Burns, I don't think he'll turn that down.
I don't think he'll turn down any fight, to be honest with you. But hey, he did say himself though that he think that Michael Chiesa should retire because he said he feel like the game has passed him by.
Kevin Holland said it about Chiesa?
Yeah, he said it about Chiesa. He was like, he already commentating. He's a good commentator. He should stick to that and just go ahead and retire because the game passed him by.
Yeah, because like to what you were saying, I guess I wouldn't say specialist, I'd see that back, but he's a wrestler, and I mean, his stand-up isn't the best, and it's people in that division that got better wrestling than him and also got better jiu-jitsu than him, so. And I don't think he'll ever get back to that number 3 ranking either.
Nah, that's it. It's over. Kevin Lee took that from him.
All right, so we have another performance of the night in the lightweight bout. Tony Ferguson loses via submission to Bobby Green in the 3rd round. Oh man, with 4 minutes and 50. Wow. He lost with 6 seconds left in the match. Wow.
Yeah, this fight right here was everything we thought it was gonna be. It was very entertaining. I don't. Tony is in a really weird spot. He has lost 6 in a row, but these past 2, maybe 3 losses, he looked good in them. Like he has his moments, but in the 1st round, he came out. Bobby Green was piecing him up on the feet, and then. But I feel like he take damage in every fight. And then he started coming back. He dropped Bobby Green. Looked like he had Bobby Green on the ropes. And then he got poked in the eye. And I feel like the eye poke kind of like took the momentum away from him. And then when they came back to it was a pretty even contest. It was evenly contested, but I feel like Tony Ferguson won the 1st round. And then it was downhill from there. 2nd round, Bobby Green came out. He got Tony Ferguson on the ground and hit him with some vicious ground and pound, nasty elbows from the top. And you can tell Tony still got fight in him because if he was looking for a way out, he could have found it at any time in that 3rd round. In that 2nd round. Bobby Green kind of impressed me with his grappling, his ground control, and the damage that he was able to get off while he was on top. Ferguson had a few more moments in the 2nd round, and in the 3rd round again, Bobby Green came and just pretty much dominated him in the 3rd. Tony looked slower than usual, and when he got him in the arm triangle, he was fighting it. He was trying to get out. He couldn't get out. He never tapped. He ended up going to sleep. But did you notice that he kicked Dan Regliata in the head?
No, I didn't even know that.
Remember when he was kicking his legs?
Yeah.
He kicked the referee in the head.
I gotta go back and check that out. Yeah, this fight, it was a tough one because we all are huge Tony Ferguson fans and we all love Tony Ferguson, and we didn't want to see him go out like this. He has looked competitive in his fights, but he is a bit slower, and he's just not the El Kukui that we used to. Because if you would have gave Tony like the Tony Ferguson of 5 years ago, would have just I feel like he would have destroyed Bobby Green and he would have finished him. And it's funny too because usually he's the one that's getting people in arm triangles and darts chokes. My bad. So it was kind of crazy to see him get caught in one too. And like we were saying Friday on the pre-show, he's the kind of fighter that's gonna go out on his shield. He was not finna submit to that arm triangle, and he was fighting for dear life too, kicking his arms and flailing and everything, and kicking his legs up in the air and all that. And he just couldn't survive, and he passed out basically. Um, that was the first time I seen Bobby Green get a submission win. Apparently, his first UFC fight, like almost a decade ago, he got one. But yeah, shout out to Bobby Green. That was impressive on his end.
Yeah, I was listening to Bobby Green talking. They were asking him if he thinks that based off of what he felt in there, Tony Ferguson should retire, and he was like, "Nah, I think he still got a lot of fight left in him." He was saying how tough he was and how he thought he was gonna get Tony Ferguson out of there, but at some point he realized, okay, I'm not gonna knock this guy out. Like, so let me just try to conserve a little bit of my energy and not go too hard. And also, Bobby Green was saying that because you got some fighters who chasing belts, and you got some fighters who chasing money, and some fighters who just want to entertain. And he was saying that he has jujitsu and he has wrestling. He just never shows those aspects of his game because people think it's boring, and he want to entertain.
So you saying he should mess it up?
I mean, I feel like they asked him what his goal was in the sport, and he say pay off his house and be debt free, have a couple $100,000 in the bank, and then he'll quit. So I feel like he probably won't mix it up. He probably just gonna keep doing what he think is entertaining.
Well, speaking of entertaining, let's go to this heavyweight bout.
Segway King.
That ended in all of 33 seconds. Winner Derek Lewis defeating Marcos Rogerio de Lima via KO. Was this the flying knee?
Yes, it was.
What the hell is Derek Lewis doing hitting a flying knee?
Man, you should
Wait, man.
You see the post fight, he was like, I just said, let me just try some shit, see if it worked. And then he tried it, and he been training it for like 5 years and never was able to use it. I was about to give up on that bull. But yeah, he came out and kind of like in Jorge Masvidal fashion, just ran straight towards him and threw a flying knee. And it was a switch knee too, so he threw the one knee up and then pulled it down and caught him with the other, flush on the chin, dropped him, got on top of him, pounded him out. Derek Lewis is looking like he was in shape. He had a little six-pack. And it was real good to see him get a win like that because it's been a while.
Yeah, I was real impressed with this one. I picked Rogerio de Lima to win by arm triangle in the first round because I know Derek Lewis, his submission defense and takedown defense not the best. And also de Lima does have submissions to his record. As soon as the fight started, Derek Lewis rushed him and caught him with the knee and immediately dropped him and just hit him with some follow-up shots, and he just never recovered, basically. And when you look at the replay, I didn't realize how flush it caught him, but he caught him flush, like right between his guard. Because if you look at it, he actually put up his guard, de Lima did, but Lewis was able to get that knee literally like right in the middle and in between his guard and caught him in the face with the knee and dropped him. Immediately after he took his shorts off, because his balls was hot, and gave a good post-fight interview as always. And I was proud he was looking a little slimmer too than normal.
Yeah, he took his shorts off, threw those in the crowd, took his gloves off, threw those in the crowd, took his cup off, threw that in the crowd, and then put his shorts back on.
So I mean, there's not much to review on this. So let's hear from the Black Beast himself. Yeah, my bad. Thinking Black. Let's hear from the Black Beast. Let's hear what he had to say. Where is he?
Did you plan to open with that flying knee?
Hell no. I just said, let me throw some bullshit, see if it lands. And I did.
It landed perfect. Did you plan to take your shorts off?
I didn't. My balls got, your dickhead got a mind of his own.
Oh man, that guy is great, man. That freaking guy is great.
Hey, Trevor, we need a big point of this fight too. He is a free agent now. This was the last fight on his deal.
Where the hell would he go?
Oh, he'll go to PFL. He'll go to Eagle FC. He can go anywhere.
Where would he go?
I mean, he won't make. He should stay with the UFC probably. That'd be his best bet. But
he said in the press conference he would like to stay with the UFC, because that's where he want to be. But Kevin Holland was saying in the post-fight press conference, how dope would it be for him to go fight Francis?
yeah, get a rematch. The give us the fight that we should have got.
So yeah, if Dana White lets this guy walk, I have no idea what is he thinking. So when it comes to this PFL though, what is it called? PFL? Yeah, PFL. Who when do they actually have events? Like, have you guys actually seen one?
Yeah, I watched it. I believe they have events twice a month. I believe. I'm not sure, but I have watched a few of their.
Yeah, they do it completely different. They do a tournament style thing, so they're not year round. They have a seasons just like other sports. And the way you do it is they have a champion for each weight class. They do the tournament. After you win in the first round, you get 6 points. The second round, you get 5 points. And if you get a finish in the third round, you get 4 points. But if you win by decision, you get 3 points. End of the season, they add up your points. Then they have a playoffs. And then at the end of the year, you win the belt and $1 million. And then you come back and do it again next year. But they also going to have something, pay-per-view series where they just do big fights. And that's where Francis is fighting. He's not fighting in the tournament. And so I'm wondering if Dana White, which I doubt he would, but Derek Lewis seemed to be one of his favorites. I'm wondering if he would let Derek Lewis go so he can go fight in Ngannou, get a $2 million paycheck, and then come right back.
Nah, I don't think.
Yeah, he's not gonna do. No, the Bones. I see you keep that. Whenever you talk, that's Zay's mic that's doing that. So you don't have to mute yourself, because I notice whenever you say something, you probably hear the same thing that I'm hearing. Yeah, that's not your mic. That's Zay's mic doing it. That's why whenever you're talking, I mute his mic.
Okay. I would say that I feel like Derek Lewis, if he does resign with the UFC, which I think he should, he's ranked number 11. I'm sure he'll probably get bumped up a spot or two. But at number 12, you got Jairzinho Rosenstrike. I don't think they fought each other. I think that'll be a good fight because they're both strikers, and they both want to keep it standing.
Yeah, I just feel like Derek Lewis is gonna have a problem when you get to the Jailton Almeidas and the Tom Aspinalls.
Yeah,
that's why Sergey Pavlovich. He said he want to run that one back as well as Spivak. But I feel like when you get to those strong grapplers, it's like if you don't catch them with an uppercut while they shooting in for the takedown, then and they get them down, then it's pretty much a wrap from there. Even though, I mean, who knows with his new conditioning? And look, we see Kevin Holland improve his striking. He said from his new wrestling coach in Texas, they both from Texas, so maybe, I don't know, who knows what he's working on in the lab. But I just don't see him being a champion, though.
No, I'm either. I thought I want to give him Jarzinho because they're both strikers, and it's the first matchup.
So you guys are saying there's 10 other heavyweights besides 1 and 2, so that would be what, 9 heavyweights that's better than Derek Lewis in the UFC?
Yeah, because I mean, granted, he did do good in this fight, but before this, I believe he lost 4 straight, maybe even 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a one-trick pony. Like, if he can't knock you out, then he's probably going to lose the decision or get submitted. Or possibly even get knocked out himself.
So he just don't have the cardio then.
The cardio or the...
Yeah, the cardio is in question now because, I mean, he's definitely looking like he's in better shape. So I'm curious to see the level of his cardio if that can get tested in his next fight.
All right, well, we got two fights left, so let's go to the co-main. So I'm assuming this isn't Jan because it has to be some crazy name because it's a UFC. So it's Jan, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Jan Blachowicz versus Alex Pereira, and Alex Pereira wins via split decision. So this is a second decision on this entire card so far. So there was a lot of people going to sleep on this card.
Yeah, this fight was pretty competitive. Pole time, he didn't use the leg kicks as much as I thought he would, and that's probably because, like my brother stated on the previous show, Young has real good leg kick defense, and he checks a lot of kicks. And sometimes he don't even check the kick; he'll just straight up eat it. And I don't know, he just got that tough shin. So that's probably a factor too. Yan, I believe he did get 2 takedowns. I believe, if I remember right, he did get a takedown in the 3rd round, but it was only a minute left because I had it 1-1 at the start of the 3rd round, 1 apiece. So basically, whoever won the 3rd round is going to get the decision. Poatan was basically winning. I would say the first 3.5 to 4 minutes of the 3rd round, and then Yan got the takedown with a minute left, but he didn't do nothing with the takedown at all. I was worried that the judges would give him the round just because of that takedown. And, that goes back to something we were talking about before. He was losing 4 minutes of that fight. And, yeah, he did get a takedown, but that takedown was only within a minute left. And he did basically 0 damage with that takedown. So I think the judges got this one right. They gave it to Poatan. And he's going to face Yuri Prochazka for the belt. It will be the next champion.
What do you mean he didn't use his leg kicks? Did you see Jan's calf? He had a big egg on it. The first round he was destroying that leg, and then he got taken down, I believe, in the first. And so I feel like that ground control time probably is when he wasn't using the leg kicks. In the second round, it was kind of back and forth. I feel like Pereira did more damage in the second round. He was able to throw, and so he was able to keep it standing, and he looked like he hurt Blachowicz a couple times too. This was a very good high-level chess match between two fighters who look like they both got high fight IQs. Obviously, Jan showed that Pereira still has a deficiency when it comes to the grappling. But with that being said, Pereira did show improvement on his grappling. The first round, he got held down. The second round, when he got taken down, he ended up getting back up. The second round was probably the closest round of the fight. And I would give it to Pereira barely, just barely, but I wouldn't be upset if somebody else gave it to Jan. I mean, I couldn't argue it. The third round is Pereira's best round. And yeah, I feel like that leg was definitely giving Jan a problem. He had a real big knot, like right on his shin, like by his ankle slash shin area. It was like somebody put like a big roll of tissue inside of his leg and up under his skin or something. It was crazy. But Jan scored a takedown, like my brother said, at the end of the round, and kind of just held him down. It wasn't a blowout round, but it was definitely definitive for Pereira. But it was one of those fights again that when they went to the scorecards, I had no idea what they were gonna say. But again, I feel like the judges got this one right, and now Alex Pereira moves on to fight Yuri Prochazka, which I don't think either one of those guys are going to take anybody down, and that fight will not go 5 rounds. I'm actually pretty excited for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that fight a whole lot. What do you think Jan should fight next?
Dan, did he fall off?
No, I'm here. I think Jan. I'm thinking because I don't know. Let him fight. See, I don't want him to run it back. I would say Anthony Smith. Let him fight the winner, Anthony Smith and Ryan Spann.
Yeah, I was going to say either that fight or probably Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker is a good one too, actually.
Because Johnny Walker ranked number 5, so.
And Johnny Walker been looking pretty good lately. He look like a different fighter.
Johnny Walker, black or red? you gotta get. Yeah, not everybody gonna get that joke.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so now we come to the main event of the night, the UFC 291 main event. You have Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje, and Justin Gaethje was the winner of this of this bout. Where did that win come? In the second 1 minute in the second round via KO by a vicious head kick. Before we get into this fight, though, I did want to say I was right when I said that something that would never happen is Lewis and that other guy going the distance, and they went 33 seconds. So there you go.
Yeah, you think it wouldn't even make it into 2 minutes into the first round.
Yeah, because there's no way. You see how Lewis was sweating.
Yeah,
like that, man. Can you imagine if that fight went 1 round? Jeez. All right, so let's get to the main event, which was another performance of the night. So I'm assuming this was a knockout of the night.
Yeah, I believe so. Bro, I want you to take this one first.
Why you had to say that with that little smirk?
You're looking forward to. I know Dustin Poirier, your favorite fighter, so.
All right, here you go with the bull. I ain't gonna lie, this one hurt me, man. But props to Justin Gaethje. They came out. Both men were way less reckless than they were in the first fight, but it was still very entertaining. Back and forth, back and forth. Poirier was clearly, I feel like, the more technical striker. His punches are straighter and more accurate. Gaethje's a looping. They both was tagging each other up in the first round, back and forth, two-way traffic. Gaethje got caught with a mean right-left combination, and it wobbled him. And I thought Poirier was finna go for the finish, like he normally does, but he didn't really swarm him. He didn't try to rush the finish. And listening to him talk after the fight, he said that he just knew he had 5 rounds and he didn't want to rush anything, and he knew that if he got him in that spot again, if he got him in that spot one time. He knew what he did to get him there, and that it would come again within 4 more rounds. But boy, was he wrong. And in hindsight, 2020, I bet he wish he would have went ahead and finished him because I felt like the knockout was there for the taking. But second round, fighters come out and Gaethje throws a jab to blind Poirier, and as Poirier is parrying the jab, he hits him with a right head kick from the same side. And it was so crazy because how I said they go to Utah every it's the second year in Utah. Last year in Utah, Kamaru Usman, which is Gaethje's training partner, was defending his belt against Leon Rocky Edwards. And Leon Rocky Edwards did the same exact technique through a jab from the left side and then hit Usman with a left head kick. And Usman and Poirier dropped the same way. It was the exact same technique and in the exact same building in the main event exactly a year later. It was just crazy. But shouts out to Dustin Poirier. I can't really hate on him. I am a fan. Justin Gaethje, I can't hate on him. I'm a fan. Poirier is my favorite, but I can't hate at all. That was perfect technique. He executed the game plan and walked away with the BMF title. And one thing I do want to note that Gaethje said after the fight was that everybody says that Gaethje is your favorite fighter's favorite fighter. Well, apparently your favorite fighter's favorite fighter has a favorite fighter named Dustin Poirier because he even said Poirier was his favorite fighter. I just feel like these guys are kind of like the same person in a way, but one is just a little more technical than the other, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them run it back again sometime down the line.
See, you got me.
I already got it mapped out how it's gonna go because now it's 1-1. They both finished each other. So what's gonna happen is Charles Oliveira. This is what's gonna happen in my world. Charles Oliveira is gonna beat Islam Makhachev for the lightweight belt. Then he's gonna try to defend it against Justin Gaethje, but Gaethje's gonna beat him too. And then in the meanwhile, Poirier is gonna beat Beneil Dariush, and then he's gonna run it back with Gaethje this time for the undisputed lightweight championship, and then he's gonna win the championship, and all will be right in the world.
So real quick, Bones, before you get, I want because I wanted to say, do you guys see them running this back? And also, I remarked on the last fight how I just thought it was crazy the amount of punches that were thrown. By the second round, Poirier had already thrown 120 punches. You contrast that in this fight, he only threw 27 total strikes for the entire fight. And with Gaethje throwing 41, so way down on their strike count. Because I don't think a human being is supposed to be taking that type of punishment. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. What do you guys see them? Is this rivalry strong enough to carry a third fight?
Yeah, it most definitely is, and it's going to be something along the lines of what my brother said. Except for the only difference is Justin Gaethje going to win again. But it's a built-in storyline, and it actually makes sense because the first fight, it was like rock'em sock'em, and they just went to hell and went to war against each other, and Poirier knocked them out. The second fight, it was slower pace, more technical. Gaethje knocked them out. So, the third fight, it would make sense. And then if you put the undisputed belt on the line, then it'll be even better because that's something that until this point, neither fighter has held before. They both held the interim belt, and now Gaethje got the BMF belt, but undisputed does what they really want. So, but yeah, this fight, it was very technical, and you could tell both fighters was less reckless, and they had the mindset of it being like more of a 5-round war. I feel like. So the pace was a little bit slower, but it was still a great fight nonetheless. Poirier did rock Gaethje in the first round, and it definitely had me nervous because Gaethje backed up and stumbled up against the fence a little bit. So I was nervous for that a little bit. Poirier, he didn't pounce for the kill, which, I mean, of course, hindsight 2020, people would say that he should have went for the finish, but I feel like he did the right thing, because if he would have went for the finish, it would have enabled him to get caught with something where he could have gassed himself out. So, but in the second round, Gaethje feinted the jab and caught him with the nasty head kick, and then the follow-up shot, and that was it. And like my brother said, it is very ironic that the same kick landed last year in the same building, same city, everything.
Hey, I want to say that I thought that Gaethje, like, this is the first time I've seen him really use head kicks. He threw a couple in the first round too, and it's just crazy to me when you like, I feel like you can literally see his progression fight to fight,
Yeah,
like from Michael Chandler to Rafael Fiziev to now Dustin Poirier again. It's like you see little changes that he's made to his offense and defensively too. He keep his head off the center line a little more, and he incorporate more defense. Like I guess to Trevor's point, he tired of getting hit in the head all the time.
yeah, he's become a more balanced fighter, basically. And in the long run, I feel like it's the best path for him if you want to get that belt.
Yeah,
And I
my
will.
brother had to take 3 shots after this fight, and they changed my whole night. They changed the course of my night from them 3 shots. 3 full shots too.
Yeah, because if Poirier would have won, I would have had to eat his hot sauce, which is real spicy. So it's only fair.
So well, I didn't even see that y'all sent me the initial message asking what time we were going to do the show, because I didn't wake up till damn near after 1 o'clock, because after we did the show last night, I didn't go to bed till almost 2:30, and I wasn't in any rush to get up. So what do we have? Let me see what Thinking Black is saying. Shout out to Herb Dean. Oh yeah. That slide and finish, and it looked like he dropped the Macho Man elbow drop on him. So hold on, because I think we got that right here queued up. Let me see, is that what this video is?
God.
Yeah, that was a sliding elbow drop.
Yeah, so yeah, Herb, and it's like that kick shocked him more than anything, man. It was like, geez, those head kicks, man, are brutal.
Because it's not often you see Poirier get knocked out, so that was a very shocking moment. Like the last time I seen him get knocked out was Michael Johnson, and that wasn't even the same fighter, so I don't even really compare that to being this Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, that's actually, I feel like maybe the second time he's been knocked out. And
Well,
you gotta wonder what all the wars he's been through. Like, I mean, I feel like that kick probably would have dropped anybody, especially he didn't see it coming. But it's like, like you always one knockout away from not being the same. So
yeah,
kind of make you wonder. And he was even saying in his post fight interview that he don't really. It was asking him how he feel about fighting the up and comers in the division and whatnot. And he was like, "Nah, I'm not interested." He said that his goal is to get the title, and at the end of the day, like, this ain't no funeral, because he done won in life already. He doing this, that, the third. And so, I mean, I don't know. Like, the way he was talking, I don't know if it was just he's still soaking in defeat, but he was kind of talking as if, like, if it's not big names or titles, that, like, there's no point in doing it no more.
which in my opinion, he's earned that right too, because I mean, I'm not his biggest fan, but I respect him. I got a hell of a lot of respect for him, and he came up, and I feel like he earned that right, because he is a big name now. So I would say that he got maybe one last run at the title, and that's why, like you said, he should fight Dariush next.
Hey, so let the people know why you're not a fan.
I'm not a fan because he's a favorite fighter.
I don't know the real reason why though.
Also because he knocked out McGregor. And McGregor, my favorite fighter.
Yeah, I just saw that clip today, as a matter of fact.
Basically, he's a hater.
That's
Hey,
not
makes sense.
fighter. If you're not my favorite fighter, then I can't be a fan of yours.
Makes
But
sense.
I would also like to see him fight Rafael Fiziev too, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what Snurp was saying that he want to see. But I know that's usually how I go in combat sports. When the fighter knocks out the fighter that you're you're a big fan of, you tend not to like that person. But I can't. That being said, my favorite fighter got knocked out last night, and I don't like Justin Gaethje any less. If anybody else would have did it, I'd probably feel differently. But
Well, everyone isn't as diplomatic as you, Zay. You don't seem to let too much of anything bother you.
Yeah, when it
nah,
comes to fighters, man, I wear it on my sleeve, and I like, I get really invested with them, so.
Well, what's coming up on the horizon?
August 19th, UFC 292, Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley. The return of Chris Weidman after severely breaking his leg.
Wow, he's coming back.
Career, yep.
Wow.
It's a couple of I think Marlon Cheeto Vera versus Mark Munoz. No, Mark Munoz.
Andre Munoz.
Yeah.
Pedro Munoz. Also you got John Wayne Lee versus Emmanuel Lemos too, for the belt.
Yeah, that's right.
And but before that, next week, your boy Sanhagen versus Font.
Yeah, I think Sanhagen gonna win that fight. I feel like I like the balls of Rob Font by taking a fight against Sanhagen of all people on short notice, especially when Rob Font just got back on the winning track. I feel like he's taking a real big risk, but at the same time, it's like I respect it, but I feel like he's gonna be outmatched.
Hey, it's a co-main event that I'm really, really excited for. Women's strawweight bout: Jessica Andrade, number 5, versus number 10, Tatiana Suarez. I'm real excited for that fight.
Yeah, I think Suarez gonna pretty much walk through her.
I think so too, but I'm excited for her because I'm ready to see her get that belt.
Who, Suarez?
Yeah.
So you think that's 115?
Yeah, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, I can't even think who the 115. Oh, Whaley, right?
Yep.
So you think they'll give it to Suarez before Yan Xiaonan?
They shouldn't. They should already give it to Young John 9, in my opinion.
But whoever have it, you think Suarez will take it from him?
Probably. I think she should. As long as she can stay healthy, I don't really see too many females beating her in that division.
I would have liked to see her match up with Rose, but Rose just moved up a division.
Does she got a fight right now coming up?
Yeah, I forgot against who. Oh, Manon Fiorot.
Okay.
So we still gotta figure out how we're gonna do the weekly MMA show, because I mean, just in case you guys haven't noticed, I basically got a show over here every week now. I mean, every day of the week, with the exception of I can't say Saturday and Sunday because we do this show on Sunday, unless football's coming up soon, so the Dolphins are going to take over Sundays, I guess, until the time being, because the NFL season doesn't start until September. So if you guys want to do the weekly MMA show, we could do it on Sunday. That probably seems like the only logical day that I don't have anything planned. So y'all look at that and see how you want to do that, if that makes sense.
All right.
Yeah, Sundays before football probably would be good.
No, that's not gonna. Well, I'm saying we'll have to change it once football starts, because
Yeah. Agree.
because when football starts, ain't no way in the hell I'm gonna care about anything else. it's,
Yeah, I
it's
feel you,
strictly,
especially on a Sunday.
it's strictly gonna be the Dolphin show. Like I ain't gonna care about anything else. Well, I say the NFL show, man, because all the craziness that's even going on now with all the injuries and stuff. So and look at this show under an hour and a half. So now I got to go back and look at all the previous ones and see why they were taking so long. Because it's not like you guys sped through anything. You guys still gave your analysis on stuff. So I got to figure out what the hell happened. The pre-show that we did Friday was an hour and a half. This is less than an hour and a half. And the pre-show that we did Friday got the most views on any show we've done, with the exception of John Jones and
Gone.
I think the Amanda Nunes one may have gotten more, but regardless, it's still high, and that's what I need to. That's what I always look for, is the trajectory. Because certain shows, everybody see people know me for one thing, and I'm trying to get them to see like, hey, we do everything over here. They know me as the Man Talk Monday guy, but I'm like, nah, we do this too. We got the Bible guys come over, we do this, we got the UFC, we got all that other stuff. So, but I appreciate you guys for giving your expertise. I'll be looking forward to finding some nefarious ways to watch this fight. No, I really just want to see the Derek Lewis flying knee. I haven't found that yet. But I definitely want to watch this Poirier and Gaethje fight.
I got you.
Yeah, I feel like the preview shows should generally be longer than the review shows, because the reviews, we already saw what happened, so we just recapping it. So I feel like natural, by the nature of the beast, the preview shows will be a little bit longer than the review shows. But yeah, this was definitely a good one, and look forward to the next one. And we definitely got to get together and figure out some type of schedule.
Yeah, definitely. Well, all right, I'm gonna go. We done much earlier than I thought, so I'm gonna go watch NXT Great American Bash, so I could add that to my review for Wednesday. And I still got to watch AEW Collision from Saturday night. I need to see this FTR and MJF and Adam Cole match.
All right,
see what happened in that.
Keep growing the channel, Trevor.
I'm trying. All right, peace, fellas.
Peace.
Well, there you have it, Straight Talk Society. Another fantastic episode of Straight Talk MMA, episode 15. Since we started in March, and you guys got to remember, UFC doesn't come on every week. You're talking about a monthly show, maybe 2 times a month, and we've already done 15 episodes so far. So that's fantastic. I'm glad that we continue to grow it. People watch these type of shows. What I noticed. So with the wrestling shows and the UFC shows, they get more views on Facebook, which I don't understand how the whole dynamic works, but I'm just glad that you guys watching either way. So until tomorrow night, we got Man Talk Monday tomorrow night. Man Talk Monday tomorrow night is going to be talking about the black boys in the juvenile system and things like that, and whatever else we may get involved in. Be sure, if you haven't already, to check out the introduction episode to Straight Talk Sessions After Dark last night. I went live at midnight last night. It was fantastic, man. Like an hour and a half. We just chopped it up, and it was a full room in there, man. I think we were done a little after 1:30, and there was a full room in there. I mean, and they stayed all the way through, and it was tremendous. The chat was on fire. Didn't know you guys would be up that late. So, we got so many different things going on. Tuesday we have the open panel, the open biblical panel. That's going to be this Tuesday. Then Wednesday we have Wrestling with Reality. We'll be previewing the Money in the Bank card. Then Thursday, I don't think we have anything. Friday, I don't think we have anything. And then Saturday is WWE Money in the Bank. But because it's coming on so late, I think the review show for that will have to take place on Wednesdays, Wrestling with Reality. The past 2 times we've been able to do them right after the shows because they've been in different countries. So we were able to do them, right after the show was off the air. But we can't do that because these shows probably not going to be over until midnight. So, yeah, I think that's it. So until tomorrow night, I'll see you guys for Man Talk Monday. Oh, I forgot to mention August 7th, we do have another debate set up. August 7th, we will have the debate. Let me get that up. See if I have it. No, I do not have the flyer up. All right, that's fine. August 7th, we'll be having a debate with Reginald Young versus Peter Cox. Peter Cox was a newcomer to the Straight Talk Society, but him and Reggie have a lot of history in the debate circuit. So August 7th at 6 p.m., we'll be having that debate over here on the Straight Talk Society. So please be sure to tune into that. We'll have to probably push the Man Talk Monday show to the following day or some other day throughout the week. So I'll leave you with these words. Always seek out the truth for yourself, because if not, you'll fall victim to other people's interpretations of them. Until Man Talk Monday tomorrow, peace.
If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and the best is blessed, baby.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. Keep it clean. Touch gloves if you wish. Let's do it.
Straight Talk MMA, hosted by Zay Bones and Trevor.